just a community service announcement, like corn is not real. It's acting. There's very few men that can perform as a corn star does, especially for more than 5 minutes. Like, that doesn't happen. And women usually can go for a long time, but women can also fake it a lot better and easier than a guy can. So just what you're watching in corn, don't get that confused in real life. And if you've seen some hardcore degrading corn, and then you assume that's how in-person workers are treated, or how OF creators are treated, no, that's not the case. We're treated way more respectfully. We have discussions before we even meet the person. And so guys, please don't associate your performance with a corn star, because real life booking, they never really go like that, especially not usually a first time. There's lots of nerves and stuff involved, and many as workers, unlike how we are projected to have no morals or values, not be kind, we are actually very kind people. And if you've made it through as a client and you're being respectful, and body parts aren't working as you prefer, we have a lot of tips and tricks to try to still have a good time. We've encountered it many times before, and there's no shame in that. I would much rather, a half hour, an hour with someone whose thing isn't working how he would like, but over like a hole with a hard one the whole time. Let's no questions. So who is the client of these SWs? I mean, they've got to be all seedy men that have no options and fat, ugly, old, whatever you think. But you know what, if you could only see the demand, there's so many men that demand. It's such a huge range of people, of looks, types, professions. I have had a legit, a cop come openly because it's decreamed now. I mean, I could have had some before and they were undercover, but people in all different work streams, like teachers, doctors, nurses, dentists, what else? Everything. Tradies. A lot of tradies. Love the tradies. Gotta love your tradies. Businessmen, which I don't know. The businessman sneaking in for a quick visit before a boring meeting or something. That's kind of fun. I did have one man come because he had to do some business with an attractive woman, and he didn't want his head clowned in his his business set. Well, his other head clouding his business judgment. So he tried to get those bit get that out of his system before making a deal. A lot of young guys, so many guys in their 20s. I know there's a lot of hate on the Bonnie Blue and that, and I don't necessarily follow her same strategies, but there's a lot of guys young that are willingly approach older women. Unfortunately, I'm turning down quite a few of you younger guys because you're a bit too close to my kids' age. not my thing. Unfortunately, I can put my brain into a lot of different things, different spaces to enjoy with different people, but it's really hard when it's too close to home. Yeah, weight's not an issue. I don't care how big, how small. Yeah, big, small, body, or body part, it doesn't matter. It has no bearing. Actually, if you're too big, I'm more likely to say no to you than if you're on this smaller side. How it functions or not is not a problem either. With S workers are experts. That happens, I think, 80% of the time at least, where things don't perform it. At least in the first booking, first time you meet someone, doesn't generally go to plan. Sometimes it goes better than planned. You just never know. But it's best not to go in with too higher expectations. Just try to go with the flow and not get too much in your head, because we all know we get in our heads things makes it harder to relax and enjoy. Did I cover the types? Yes, students, yeah, all nationalities, and yeah, all age ranges, and that's just who contacts me. So that's only my little bite size of the market. I'm sure there's a lot more who, you know, target a younger demographic or something. So yeah, just look at anyone when you go to the shops. Could totally be your workmate, your colleague, your brother, your uncle, your grandfather. Some grandfathers are like still at it better than some of the younger ones. So yeah, and again, I'll reiterate, re-push this point so strongly that we generally want respectful people that are clean. Like, definitely make sure you have a good shower and wash everything really well, because the better you smell, the more attention we can give. And some guys don't get that, you know. Yeah, and yeah, do your research, clients. I know there's a lot of catfishing and stuff, but see, there's the TikToks and you know, a bit of a media trail, and that phone number's a line. Don't send a big deposit to anyone unless you really do verify that they are who they are. I might do that actually in another quick one, because I don't think anyone listens this far. Paying for an encounter with an SW is paying for like a fantasy encounter without the drama you would traditionally get with a girlfriend, a wife, or someone you're dating in an intimate way. Okay, if you turn up with the wrong money, less than money, you are going to get that drama that you would get in real life with a wife or a girlfriend or someone that felt disrespected and pissed off by you. Okay, you'll probably get that times 100, because we've probably had 100 other people previously try to do that over the years at least, and you're just gonna cop extra. Okay, want to avoid the drama with an SW, read their ad very carefully. Okay, if an SW has been able to write that ad, take photos, put it online and advertise herself, yeah, she's not as much of an idiot as you're perceiving. She's put a lot of thought, or they have put a lot of thought into the services they want to offer, in which price range and under what conditions. That ad often includes a fair bit of that info. Sometimes, depending on the platform you advertise on, it might be a lot more basic. And then you might want to clarify some of these things before you meet the worker, which is fine. But do not negotiate on rates or try and lower them. If you want to, rather than going, I have $100, will you do blah, blah, blah for that? Maybe go, but you've got something in mind that you want, go, how much do you charge for this, this, and this? And do you offer these services? And then the person might go, yes, I do all that, and it's this much. Or I do this and this, but not that, and it's this much. Okay. Or they might go, no, I don't do any of that. You better just go find someone else. Most of us would do that. If you're reading an ad and the services are looking like way extreme for a really low amount, it's not your standard stuff, it's more risky stuff for a pretty low amount, it's probably going to be a catfish, right? If you keep getting catfish regularly, you're doing something wrong. You're not reading the ads right, or you keep trying to get discounts or more services or something like that before you've turned up. Because a new worker learns pretty quick that does not work in her favor or his favor, and they might fall for it once or twice, they cut it out pretty quick. The scammer ones are probably going to accept that every time, and you're going to turn up because they've got a different model of business. Okay, so you keep getting catfished, your fault, totally. Once or twice, I get that ads can be very convincing and people can get catfished a couple of times, but there's a lot of guys that have never been catfished, and they tend to have spent a lot more time researching and looking up the person that they want to see. So they've looked for a history trail and stuff like that. Yeah, so I'll stop there.